All right, so I've decided I'm going to make a series on my page where I share stories from my childhood when I was in school or growing up or whatever, of things that I did as a kid that now I know are clear signs of autism, but these same things were like brushed off by my parents and teachers as something totally different. So let's kick this series off by talking about parent-teacher conferences when you are an undiagnosed autistic kid. I dreaded parent-teacher conferences every year. First of all, let me start by saying I feel like if you are a late diagnosed autistic female, if you're someone who's not diagnosed until you're an adult, it's very common that you were a kid that was labeled as a shy, smart kid in school. I feel like that's very common with autistic women, and that was definitely the case for me. I think I've kind of touched on this in previous videos of mine, but I was very shy in school. I didn't really participate and talk in class much. I was just kind of off in the corner of the classroom by myself. And so the number one comment that I would get from teachers at parent-teacher conferences was, oh, she needs to talk more. She needs to participate more in class. She's really shy. She needs to get out of her shell. I swear to God, if I had $1 for every single time a teacher said that to me at any point in my 13 years of public education, I would be a freaking billionaire. I would not have to have a job. I would be retired at 24 years old and be a stay-at-home cat mom because I would be so filthy rich. But I dreaded parent-teacher conferences every year because my parent-teacher conferences with my teachers were pretty much listening to a broken record, because it would be my parents and I going and listening to the same shit over and over again. All my teachers pretty much had the same things to say. They would say things like, oh, she's a really great student. She's a delight to have in class. I really enjoy her. She's doing really well in this class, but she's really shy and she needs to be more talkative in class. Blue, off the counter. Don't you just love living with a cat? I feel like half my videos are me yelling at my cat to get off the counter when I have food out there. Yes, I still need to put dinner and stuff away. But anyway, where was I? We were talking about parent-teacher conferences as an undiagnosed autistic kid. So anyway, yeah, my parent-teacher conferences, it was just 2 hours of all of my teachers saying the same thing over and over again. And it was that's what would happen. And then after parent-teacher conferences, we would drive home, and literally in the car ride home, the entire time, my parents would just be lecturing me in the car about oh, we agree with your teachers. You need to be more talkative and stuff like that in school. You need to be more outgoing. I remember one time my dad literally offered to give me some kind of reward if I were to ever get in trouble at school for talking in class. Yeah. But that is something I experienced a lot. Nobody ever thought to think of autism. They just thought I was this really shy kid. But yeah, it was that's all it was. It was just she needs to learn how to talk more. I'll make another video of some things from when I was in middle school that happened that kind of tied in with me being the shy smart kid. So that's another thing my teachers would say when they would make comments to my parents about how shy I was and stuff. They would literally they would tell my parents that oh, she because it's mainly in middle school, because that was that's when I was doing the best academically. But it was mainly in middle school when I was labeled as a gifted kid. And my teachers would always say to my parents in middle school parent-teacher conferences that she's really smart, and I'd like to see her helping out the other kids and stuff like that. But I have a couple interesting stories to tell. Hey, this video is only 5 minutes long. Why don't I just tell them right now? Anyway, when I remember this one time when I was in 6th grade, in my English language arts class, we had a like practice STAR test, which if you don't know what STAR is, it's like the state tests that they do every year in Texas, where because I grew up in Texas. But we took a practice STAR test, and I was the only person in my class who got 100% on the practice STAR test. And so because of that, one day the teacher, so she had like compiled a list of like the most commonly missed questions on this practice STAR test, and she had me get up in front of the class and teach my classmates like the right answers to the STAR test and like why they were the correct answers. And oh my God, it was like the worst thing ever. I had to get up in front of the whole entire class, and like I mentioned before that I don't like eye contact. It was awful. Like, teachers, if you have a shy student, please do not do this to them. Please do not put them on the spot like this. But God, it was awful. And like, she didn't even like tell me in advance that I was going to be doing this. She literally just like one day I came into class and she's like, hey, yeah, you're going to be teaching the class today. And I'm like, I'm going to be doing what now? Teaching the class? Like, why do I have to teach the class? Isn't that your job? You're the teacher. I didn't sign up to be a teacher, but no, you're gonna make me teach the class. Like, yeah. And then I remember another time when I was in 7th grade, my 7th grade science teacher was making a like new seating chart for the class. I didn't know where my cat was. He was making a new seating chart for my class, and he intentionally sat me at a table with a bunch of like troublemaker kids in hopes that I would like help the kids like stay on task and stuff. Like, I don't know, if you're neurodivergent and you've ever like, you can relate to any of this, like if you were ever like labeled like a gifted kid at any point in your schooling career, like can you relate to any of these stories? Or like, did you hate going to parent teacher conferences as a kid? Let me know your stories. I would love to hear about your experiences in the comments down below, and just leave any requests for rants for me to do, or stories of like autistic things that I did as a kid. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.